I like fully raw much better because fully raw gives me a sense of being disciplined. Every time I eat something cooked, I always feel like a failure.
Really?
Yeah, I do. I do. My whole goal is to stay disciplined because
Hmm.
remember from the top of the story, I told you whatever I feel like I couldn't achieve is for lack of discipline. So if I get to a point where I can discipline myself to stay on course, not that it's a bad thing. There are people right now who would kill to be in my position as far as the weight I lost, as far as the lifestyle that I lead.
So is your goal to be 100% raw?
Absolutely. And I'll say it for the first time on your channel. Absolutely.
I know you're going to get there. I know you're going to get there. Because you drank 6 months of juice. That's how I know.
Yeah.
Welcome to Plant Based with Nicole, with your host, Nicole Michel.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Plant Based with Nicole. I'm your host, Nicole Roche, also known as Plant Based Nicole Roche on Instagram and TikTok. Make sure you go follow me over there. We have another exciting episode today. I'm excited to bring back Roberto Michel, who did a juice cleanse for a half of a year. Did y'all hear me? 6 months. He drank juice only, no food. The last time I brought him on, I think he was on day 90 or so. No, don't get me the line. I don't remember, but he ended up going for a full 6 months and he lost 105 pounds. I am impressed. Okay. There is no way I could do 6 months on juice. I can't even do 3 days. But anyway, we're not going to get into that. Anyway, you guys, so I'm excited to bring him back today. So after juicing for 6 months and losing 105 pounds, Roberto Michel transitioned to a 90-day raw vegan diet. At his heaviest, he weighed 325 pounds, y'all. But as of today, he is down to 220 pounds. That is amazing. He continues to follow a vegan lifestyle, primarily raw, with occasional cooked vegan meals. Juicing is still a part of his daily routine, typically he enjoyed for breakfast. So I'm excited to talk to him because he went from eating animals to juicing for 6 months to raw vegan diet for 90 days. And now he is living a high raw lifestyle. So that's what you call crawl before you walk. You take steps, you transition. Okay. You can't go from 0 to 60, y'all. Anyway, without further ado, let's bring on Roberto Michel. Roberto, what's up?
What's happening? What's happening? How you doing?
I'm doing okay, Roberto. You know, day by day, making it day by day. Welcome back to my platform.
Thank you for having me. I greatly appreciate you. It's a pleasure to be back. Thank you for having me. Always a pleasure. Anytime you call, you know the answer is yes.
For sure, for sure. Wait a minute now. This is a whole new Roberto. Wait, not only have you lost 105 pounds, you done cut the locks off. You out there working out all the time.
Yes.
I heard that. You better work it.
I mean, the plan is to change, is to totally transform and to build new habits and to transform myself. So the lessons that I've learned from the first juice fast, I just try to copy and paste it into every other aspect of my life. So that's what this whole journey is about. So I can't wait to see in the next couple of years how I polish the diamond.
Yes, it's going down. It's only going to get better. You about
Amen.
to be competing in bodybuilding competitions. No.
You never know. You
Hey,
never know.
you never
Maybe a
know.
marathon, maybe a 5K, a marathon, but I haven't thought about the bodybuilding, but definitely running. I want to run. Like I
Really,
don't
you
want to
like
put it
running?
out there yet because everything I say I would do it, but I'm not putting this one out there. But I'm heavily thinking about running.
Yeah, it's on your
But
spirit. It's in your spirit.
I have to. Just to
Yeah.
challenge myself.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So congratulations on your weight loss. That's amazing. 105
Thank you.
pounds.
Thank
I
you.
mean, that's almost a full person.
Yes, it is. It is. It is.
Yeah, that's amazing. So let's go back a little bit. I already interviewed you once, but just to bring everyone up to speed, Roberto did a 6-month juice fast. What the freak? That's a half of a year.
Incredible. Incredible.
No food.
Incredible.
And you didn't mean to do it that long. You just You was just supposed to do it a certain amount of time, and then you
Well,
just kept, or you didn't have a time limit.
Well, you know, the whole fasting, falling in love with fasting started with my brother. I always got to give him credit. My brother's Paul's Law on Instagram. So he was doing a 40-day water fast one time. And he just mentioned it to me. He was like, yo, I'm about to fast for 40 days. And I always tell people I didn't take him seriously because I'm thinking 40 days, that's a mighty long time. And, you know, but every week I would see him, I'd check on it, and I'll be like, yo, you fasting? It was like, yeah, week one. You fasting? Yeah, week two. And before you know it, he's on day 28. And I had to ask him, I'm like, hey, 28 days, no food? And he was like, yeah, like just water. He was like, yeah, just water and coconut water. And I'm like,
Wow.
you know what? I'm going to start tomorrow. And then I started my water fast. So I did 40 days, but when I got to day 37, it was extremely hard. I'm talking about I thought I was gonna pass out. So you know, my wife was like, you know what, you need some electrolyte. So I finished the fast with some Gatorade. So I ended up prolonging it to the 40 days just to say I did it. So that's pretty much what happened. So ever since then, it kind of ingrained in myself that, you know what, this is a hard thing to do. If I can do that, you know, but throughout that process, I lost, I think it was like 60 or 65 pounds. But to give your audience a idea, my weight at that time before the water fast was 325 pounds.
Wow.
So at 325, I was diabetic and I was prescribed a CPAP machine, which is the machine to help you breathe and kind of like revive you if you were to stop breathing. I'm sure your audience is familiar with the technicality of the language as far as what a CPAP machine is.
Yeah.
So I was prescribed that. I slept with it for 3 months and I told myself, this can't be life. This
Mm-mm.
can't be life. You know, and my doctor was like, you know, you should lose the weight, take it into your own hands, or if not, this is going to be the rest of your life. So the water fast kind of gave me a glimpse of what is possible. But after I did that, I went back to, you know, eating, drinking, smoking, whatever I was doing previous to that. So I gained like the whole 65. I went back to square one. And then I was somewhat devastated, but I've never been a type of person that feel ashamed of myself or how I look. And then one day I worked for a school district and I took a picture with the kids and I was like, man, this is disgusting. That was the
Oh.
first time in my life that I felt like, you know what, I had to make a change. And which I did, but I didn't know whether I was going to do water fasting or juice fast, but fasting was calling my name. And of course, there are a lot of platforms out there that was, you know, the algorithm was feeding me ideas, you know, water fast, juice fast. Every time I turn around with a YouTube or Instagram, that was popping up. So I was like, you know what? I'm about to do a juice fast. And I set up a
Yeah.
date and I told the family February 24th of 2024 is going to be the last meal, and then I'll embark on the journey. So, you know, I set up a little budget, and I had an old juicer, Jack LaLanne, for the people who are familiar, and that's how I did the whole 6 months. And before I know it, my whole goal was 40 days. So I said to myself, I'm going to do 40 days because I've done 40 days water fast. So I'm thinking juice should be somewhat of a breeze because at least you got the nectar, you got the taste. Because water, you don't have that. And that was the plan. And a brother that I work with, you know, he's like a super Christian, and he read a verse to me and says, when you fast, you should keep it to yourself, like, you know, because you feel meek or whatever. You don't have to tell the world that you're doing it. Since my goal was 40 days, I actually kept the 40 days to myself. But in the meantime, I kind of on the low kept it to myself. But every day I would wake up, I would post a quote or like a Bible verse, and I would say, day one, juice fasting, just that, and then I would post it. So by the time it starts getting to like day 25, and you know, some of my followers was like, hey, fast? What do you mean fast? Like it's a juice, a diet? Like, you know, they start asking
Mm-hmm.
questions, and it was like, no, we got to see this, and people start asking questions. So by the time I was done to day 40, I figured, okay, I'll let them in on what's going on. So I did my first video on day 41, and that's how the journey, as far as me exposing myself and showing the whole journey. And people start saying, "Okay, we want to see you make the juice. What kind of juice?" And I put everything online from day uh, um, 41 to day 182, and that's how the journey started.
Wow. He was starting off with 40 days and ended up
40
doing
days,
6 months, which
six
is,
months,
what is
and
that, like
the
180 days ish?
182 days. So the inspiration behind it is, you know, when my brother, the same Paul's Law that I did the water fast with, when he found out that I was doing the juice fast, I think when I got to like a month, he was like, "Yo, you looking good. You're really doing it." And he was like, "If you do it for 2 months, your whole life is gonna change." And then I'm like, yeah. He was like, matter of fact, if you do it for 3 months, your whole life is gonna change. And then he thought about it again. He was like, bro, if you can juice for 6 months, your whole entire like he kept going and going. And but I remember the last level he got to was 6 months. And in my head, on the low, I was thinking like 6 months. That would be crazy. And then,
Wow.
in the whole process, I'm Googling people. There's people who's done it for a year. There's people who's done it for 6 months, people who's done it for 4 months. So that was kind of encouraging to know that I'm not alone, that, I can survive it. And plus, I was feeling good. Like, most people would think like I would be weak, I would be hungry, I would be tired. The most energy I've ever had in my whole life, as far as my adult life that I can remember, is during that juice fast. And I know it's
Wow.
hard to imagine, but the whole idea, as far as having strength, as far as being motivated, as far as feeling blessed and optimistic and plan and stick to my plans and feeling a sense of clarity, that was during that juice fast. Yes.
Wow, that's amazing. And everyone, I interviewed him about the juice fast. I think it was my episode, season 5. So you guys go check out that full interview
Yes.
because he is focused solely on the juice fast. Uh, wow. So after juicing for the 6 months, what made you end up? Because before you went juicing, you were living a regular standard American diet. Is that right?
Yes, standard Haitian American diet.
Standard Haitian American diet. So, AKA, he was eating meat and dairy and all that good stuff. Okay. Then he
Yes.
went to, or all that, I'm not going to
Then
say
I
bad
started
stuff.
I started watching Raw Christina, primarily the Jillian Berry channel, and I realized that a lot of people was doing raw food. So my thought was like, you know what? It's not too far from juice, because juice is pretty much raw food. Because I was
Yeah.
juicing everything I can put my hands on, and I was like, when I'm done with the juicing, I'm gonna do 90 days on a raw food diet, and that's how I
Yeah.
embarked on that raw
Yeah.
journey.
I love it. I love the transition from eating meat and Haitian foods to juicing to raw vegan. So that's what made you switch the inspiration from other
The
people. And
inspiration was
yeah.
purely my brother also did the raw food for 6 years, so I watched him eat raw food for 5 6 years. I would say minimum
Okay.
4 years. I don't know if he's back to eating regular cooked meal, but he
Mhm.
always, like, his whole channel is dedicated to health and wellness and vegan life, and he has a group on Facebook. So I've been in very close encounter to people who's doing it, and I never knew it was
Yeah.
a thing before he's done it. And when I see a year go by, like he's still going strong, eating salads every day. 2 years go by, and before I can blink, it was 3 and 4 years. And I'm like, you know what? And he maintained his weight. He maintained the clarity of mind. He's changed his life as far as the trajectory of which direction he was going with his life. I've seen the change. I'm a witness. So I was motivated by that, thinking that if I can get a small percentage of that blessing, I can actually make great changes in my life also. So he was a great motivation for me as far as the whole
Yeah.
raw food diet.
That's amazing. So you, after the juice fast, you went raw for 90 days. So tell me what that experience was like. Did you have any detox, or because you were so clean from the juicing, you didn't really, did you experience any detox, negative detox?
The first day, I think I went too hard, meaning I had I was craving avocado so much. I think I did like a salad, a huge salad. I posted the whole 90-day journey online, just like I did for the juice. So I did like a big salad. I remember it was seaweed, it was avocado. So I probably went too hard, too fast, and my stomach
Oh,
was,
wait, right after the juicing, you did that?
my first day breaking
Oh
the
my God.
fast. I had a salad.
Vertigo.
I
Ver-
had a big salad, and I was
oh,
telling my followers that this is what I'm about to do. And there are some of them who were courteous and nice enough, who were like, you know what, don't do it, Toto. They say, don't do it, Toto. That's not what you want to do. And I apologized to them later, but I was hard headed, so I went on and I ate it, and boy, did I pay for it. Did I pay for it? My stomach hurt for like 3 days straight. And
oh
I
my
didn't complain
God.
about it.
That's
It
too
wasn't like
much.
unbearable pain, but it was like uncomfortable. And I
Yeah.
knew it was because I went too fast as far as from juicing to solid food. But after that, the comparison between juice and raw food is pretty much the same, except it's a little bit heavier.
Hmm.
So the most comfort, the most clarity, the most energy I've ever had in my life is on juice, hands down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hands down.
Hands
There's no
down.
comparison as far as feeling. As far as I was sleeping 5 hours. You know, when you eat, I guess your stomach needs time and energy to digest it. So it will take energy from your day to day activities. So I would feel tired after, even if it was raw food, I would still feel the itis. I
Yeah.
think we call it in our community. So, you know, I would still feel that. I would still feel heavy. I would still sleep a little bit more. And it'll be harder to wake up compared to the juice. Sometimes I would beat my alarm clock because I was giving myself also a
Yeah.
habit. So I was doing like a total transformation because a lot of people, I, I know, I hope I'm not straying away from the question. A lot of people were asking, why would you make such a tragic change, like a drastic change? And I was like, to me, it's about, I always think there's a lot of things that I need to accomplish. And the reason I'm not accomplishing it is not because you're doing something to me or something is happening to me or God is punishing me. It's because I'm not focused. There's certain clarity
Mhm.
that I don't have. So I take full responsibility. But my whole life, I was asking myself, how do I get to that? Because I love when I see people focused. I love to see if you say you want to do a podcast and then 2 months later, I see you on the air. I like to see if you say you want a clothing line, you want to record an album. I like to see things being manifested.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
used to always wonder, I have so many dreams and so many things that I want to do. How come I feel like a car that I'm pressing gas and my tires are moving, but I'm staying in the same place like a treadmill?
Ooh, come on
How do
now.
I change that? And I felt
Mhm.
like fasting has shown me the way because it's a form of sacrifice. And believe me, God bless the people who are willing to sacrifice. And I
Yeah.
feel like that has since then helped me to copy and paste into different aspect of my life. It's kind of like, okay, you can do 6 months on juice, you can do 3 months
You
on
you could do
raw
anything,
food. You
man.
can do anything. You can go back to school. I picked up my Spanish. I learned another language pretty much. I started focusing on myself and my family. So pretty much staying focused and copy and paste the same discipline I learned from juice into everything that I said or I thought I couldn't do, and then try to copy and paste that energy there.
That was like a you opened up what's the phrase? I forgot what I'm trying to say. A pave wait.
The
I don't know.
Pandora's box, they always.
We'll say that. You open like you once you did that, it's like if you
I
could go
found the
6
key.
months without eating food,
I found the key.
you found the key. You could do
Yes,
anything, man. If you could
yes.
do that, shoot.
You
Anything else
found
is
the
a
key.
breeze. Anything else
Yes.
is a breeze, especially when it comes to what you put in your mouth. So, when you went to the raw vegan diet from juicing, did you notice any changes in your energy or was it already good? And oh, you said it wasn't as
The
high.
most energetic, the most clarity, the most patience, the most brightness, livelihood, brilliance come from the juice, hands down.
Yeah,
Nothing
hands
can
down.
compare to it. I mean, I've done a water fast, I've done juice
Yeah.
fast, I've done a raw food diet, I'm doing my exercise thing now. The best I've ever felt and I've ever looked in my whole life is on juice. The only down thing with the juice is the fact that it's a lonely journey. You have to understand we coming from a Caribbean family, Haiti specifically, where food is at the center of everything. Not just Haiti, every
Yeah,
culture on
just
the planet.
yeah,
Yeah,
every culture. Like going out to restaurants and stuff, that's like,
exactly.
you everybody sitting there throwing down on some whatever and you up
That's the
there with your
difference.
strawberry juice.
That's the hardest part. That's the
Yeah.
hardest part. It's
Yeah.
just like the communion that you have with your family. It takes that away because you feel like I personally feel like I had to be disciplined and stick to myself, but it also take away from having dinner with your family, being engaged into the regular activities that they do. But I was very supported. They were very supportive as far as what I was doing. I don't know if they understood it, but they saw my happiness and my
Yeah.
uh, me feeling good. I think they accepted it, and but that was the hardest part. But as far as people think it's a physical thing, like you're gonna feel weak because you lack a vitamin. Where do you get your protein from? There's a lot of questions that I receive, but I get it because people are coming from a regular understanding that you have to eat 3 meals a day. Like they coming, the same people that train me train them. So I understand the question. I didn't get too upset about it. I just I was very understanding, but at the same
Yeah.
time I have to trust what I was feeling because I was feeling pretty good. I was
Yeah.
feeling good.
So when you would go to, did you go to a lot of family things and going
I
out to
haven't missed
restaurants
a thing. I've been
and
to
picnics?
Carnival. I've been to Disney. I've been on vacations multiple times. My son played AU basketball. I travel every 2 weeks. I've been to many hotels. I've been to
During those 6 months?
during those 6 months. I've been to many functions where I was able to take my juicer with me, or
I
some
heard that.
places before I go, I would Google to see if they have like a juice bar, and then I would manage it that way.
I heard
And I
that.
keep people aware. Like I pretty much recorded the whole process of what I went through. If I'm on vacation, I will give people update of what I consumed for the day. So it was the juice. I got comfortable with that process. So
Wow. That's
to compare the
dedication.
two, nothing, nothing. No matter what other lifestyle, I don't know about breatharian, but the juice was the best experience of my life.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think you'll ever do it again long
I
term?
would. I tried to do it recently, but I think I got like to day 15 and I ate. Yeah. I think I did
Ah,
it for like a week and change. I was like, let me see if I can go do a quick 20-day real quick. And then I went out with the family. I'm like, you know what? Let's
yeah. Well,
let's
I mean, that's still good. Like 15 days is like
Oh no,
big
no, no.
time
Two,
for
three
me.
days. Trust me, those are breeze by now. Those are a
Yeah.
breeze. It's
Yeah.
just like, I need a reason to do it. I need a
Yeah.
reason, whether it's for
You
prayer,
have
for
to
my
have a
nursing.
big why. You have to have a big why.
Exactly,
And right
exactly.
now you don't have that why because you've already why'd your wide. I'm just playing. The point is that you had a why before and you did it, right? So
Exactly.
now you don't have a why yet, so you're not going to be able to stick to it right now.
Yeah, yeah. But I thought about it. It was just one slip up. Meaning, if I said to myself that day, one more day, I would have been able to make it to the 21 day. And
Hmm.
it was like, let me do a quick 21 day. Every once in a while, I would say, let me do 3 days, and I manage and I do it every once in a while.
Yeah. And 2 weeks is still like good to kind of
Oh
do a
yeah, it's
reset,
amazing.
cleansing. Yeah, that's still
The
good.
3 days, for the people who are thinking about it, because I know you have a lot of followers who are into those type of things. The first 3 days is the hardest
Mm,
because that's when you think about food as a means of survival the most. That's when food is like a drug. That's when food is comfort. Food is everything. But as soon as that idea leaves your mind and then it becomes your spirit is more connected, then you feel like
yeah.
you can do 10, 20 days easy.
So if you could just get through those first 3 days, you good.
First 3 days, that's the marker for me. For me, it's always the hardest. That's when I get mean. That's when my temper's short. Whatever you saying, you better say it fast. My kids better not. Hey, hey, sit down. That's me on those first 3 days. You better sit down. Like, yeah.
You're the way women are when they have menstrual cramps. No, I'm just playing.
I don't know if I can compare it, but we can go and say it.
Woo, child, I don't have it no more. But honey, child, when I used to have that, you better stay clear,
Yeah, stay
stay
clear.
away. Don't even look at me. No,
That's the first 3 days. That's the first
right,
3 days. Stay clear.
exactly.
Stay in your lane.
So you did the 90-day raw, and then now you're back to not back to, but you're balancing a diet of like raw and cooked meals occasionally. So how is that balance? How do you like that? Do you like it better than eating fully raw?
You know what? I like fully raw much better because fully raw gives me a sense of being disciplined. Every time I eat something cooked, I always feel like a failure.
Really?
Yeah, I do. I do. I enjoy it. Like I
Oh,
went out, I had a mushroom burger. It was pretty good. It was spinach, it was mushroom. It was almost raw, but I felt like, wow, it could have been 100%. I felt like a failure every time I eat something that's steamed or because I
mm,
felt like my whole goal is to stay disciplined. Because
mm-hmm.
remember from the top of the story, I told you whatever I feel like I couldn't achieve is for lack of discipline. So if I get to a point where I can discipline myself to stay on course, not that it's a bad thing. There are people right now who would kill to be in my position as far as the weight I lost, as far as the lifestyle that I leave, to be in my position, even with the vegan diet. So, but remember, my ultimate goal is to stay as clear and as clean as possible. So I still feel like I fall off short even if it's every once in a while. Even if it's once a month or once a week, I eat something cooked. I always feel like, why did I do that? You could have stick to the salads, like because I would go weeks and weeks sometimes and eat just raw food. But
Yeah.
every time I mingle with other folks, like if we go out to a restaurant, I'd be like, "What you guys have?" And they're like, "Oh, we have one of them possible things." I'm like, "Okay, let me have one, no bread, whatever." Like, and I felt like this is
I don't
way.
want you to feel like a failure.
No, 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 no. I'm just explaining how I feel based on the question. It's not like I said. It's
Oh,
still a
okay.
pretty good clean diet. Don't get it
Yeah.
twisted. Now I'm
Yeah, it is very
better
good.
than 99% of people who are eating. Period. But for the standard as a person who enjoy raw food, to
Yeah.
keep that as the top of the top, every time you eat, whether it's some cooked quinoa, you feel like, man, I could have just sprout that instead. But
So your
and also
goal, so is your goal to be 100% raw?
absolutely. And I'll say it for the first time on your channel. Absolutely. And the first time I decided that is when I changed my whole platform from Roberto to Rawberto. You know, it used to be Roberto, and I changed it from RAW. So I was like, you know what? The first part of manifestation is whether through vision board or to write it down. So I was like, let me start with my name. And then I changed that. And ever
I
since
heard
then,
that.
my whole goal, my whole purpose is to get to that level. Now, is that the ultimate form of health? I'll be an example of that, whether it works or it doesn't. And I'm willing to pay the price for that.
Yeah.
But I can tell you, I do feel a difference when I eat food that are cooked and when I eat
Mm,
raw food. I feel
for sure.
much better than. But like I said, the communion aspect, the community aspect is missing because you're always alone when you leave on an extreme so-called diet. You know, you always feel alone. So to comfort, as far as comfort, you go out with the family, and then you feel like you're the only, and it becomes like a thing now. It's like everybody knows, like, oh, he's not gonna eat that, or he's not gonna eat that. We're not gonna go here because they don't have that. We're not gonna, and it becomes that, which is I'm appreciative, you know, but
You
that's
don't
the
want to feel
hard
like an
part.
inconvenience. You don't want to feel like an
Exactly.
inconvenience.
That's the hard part. Like
Yeah.
I'm one person and I gotta change the way a whole tribe is adjusting their lives, which is
Well,
cool when you
well,
think about it.
the good thing about raw, at least, it's easier for lunch and dinner time because you could just get a salad if you go to a restaurant, other people.
It's
But breakfast,
easier in the summer.
oh, in the summer, but breakfast is hard because,
No, breakfast I just juice.
okay,
Breakfast I juice. I juice for breakfast. So technically I would make a 32-ounce thing. I would take it to the
you
gym
would
with me.
just bring it with you to the restaurant.
No, no, no. For breakfast, I don't go out for breakfast. I
No,
don't.
I was trying to say that it's easier like going out to restaurants when you're eating raw if because you could just get a salad for lunch or dinner, but
Oh yeah, I always do that. I bring out.
going out to breakfast with family, it's not much you can get there for
Yeah,
breakfast unless you're going to eat a salad for breakfast.
which I do sometimes. I always bring an avocado or two with me wherever I go. Even now, I always you're not gonna catch me without one or two.
Mhm.
If we
Yeah.
happen to go somewhere, you know, for half of an avocado, they charge you $5 at a restaurant. So even if I get a regular salad, I always bring my own avocado and then chopped it up and put it on top of it. But
If you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready.
well, that's another thing. You have to stay ready for raw
You have to.
because you're on your own. Like
Yep.
nobody's thinking about you eat raw. And you know, there's a sense of heaviness also when you eat cooked food. Even if it's a slice of bread, even if it's some pasta, they might make you
Yeah.
some. You go to a place, they make you a very good pasta with spinach, broccoli, and all the veggie stuff you can think of. But the pasta alone, as soon as I leave the restaurant, I want to go to sleep. It puts me to sleep.
Yeah,
There's
it
something
is the
about the raw
heaviness.
diet
It
that I'm still up after I eat the
You
raw.
feel light. It's light because the food
Yeah.
is light.
Yes.
You know, you feel like you want to skip down the field of hay.
But the ultimate goal is to be 100% raw. I don't know how long it's going to take me to fight that fight. Maybe not long because my mind is so focused on it to the point where I think about it all the time. It's just like
I definitely believe you can do it.
oh, I will do it. I will
You
do it.
will. It's just
I
when
will.
you're ready. It's just whether when is the right time, and you will know when it's the right time. You'll know.
But
Right now,
I would go long period of time of just
yeah,
raw,
yeah.
you know. But I want to get
I
to the
know you'll
point
get
where
there.
it becomes the norm, where it becomes
Yeah,
No, I'm not gonna eat that. I'm not gonna
where
do that.
that's just your way of living. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
And
That's a better way to put it.
I know you're gonna get there. I know you're gonna get there. Cause you drank 6 months of juice. That's how I know.
Yes, and I
You
still juice, man. I still juice in the
every
morning.
morning. Yeah.
Yeah. So what I try to do now, I try to do eat once a day. So I try to eat once a day. I know you people want to know what I eat.
Yeah.
Most of the
That was
time,
my next question. Are you reading my mind? I was
oh,
literally about to ask you.
you know we're here. You know we're here. Of
Come
course, we're
on, man.
here.
Let me just read it so it can be official.
Make
Can
it
you
official, please.
can you describe a typical day of meals and juicing for you now? What does it look like from morning until night, please?
Well, in the morning, it's juice. So juice can be any type of juice. My favorite at the moment is orange, cantaloupe, a little bit of ginger, and lemons.
Mm,
I can
mm,
drink that any day. I feel rejuvenated. I don't feel hungry. And I drink about, I have the jars. I normally show it in my videos. So technically,
hmm
whatever I show in the videos, that's what I really consume. It's not just for Instagram. It's really what I consume. So I would consume that. It's about like, I think 30 something ounces, like a nice jar. And I would go all day. So technically, no lunch, especially for
Oh,
the last.
really?
So yeah, no lunch. And then when the family is eating, I would do the biggest salad you've ever seen, which is composed of. They have seaweed. I eat a lot of watercress. I find it really cheap for like $1.50 a batch where I live. I eat spinach. I eat mixed greens, and I eat tomatoes, onions, and I always, always
Always.
have an avocado. Always, always. I never miss a day without an avocado. But in a nutshell, that's what the salad is composed of. But you can switch the greens every once in a while. It doesn't have to be just spinach or just mixed green. It can be any kind of greens that's gonna give it the foundation. You add onions, you add tomatoes, and I make my own dressing sometimes,
Yeah, me too.
which can be with fruits. I can make it like a mango, or the most basic ones I make is scallion, garlic, a little bit of olive oil, and I chopped up a piece of dates and
Hmm.
then a pinch of Himalayan salt, and that I can eat that for 30 days straight. The same thing, and I'm a
Yummy.
creature of habits. I can eat the same thing for a month, 2 months straight, and not
Say
feel
that
no way
again.
about it.
Do you blend the dates into the stuff or you
Yeah,
just
I
chop
chop
it?
it. I take the seed out. And I cut it up into tiny pieces. I throw it in a blender. I put a scallion in there. I make enough to put it in a jar, and then I put a nice amount, probably like 4 batches of scallion, a handful of garlic, a little bit of salt, a little bit of olive oil, and then that's the foundation. If I want it spicy, I put some Jamaican pepper in there, or Haitian pepper, however you want to call that.
Hmm.
And you put that in there, and a little pinch of salt, and then that is the foundation that gives me sweet, that gives me salt, that gives me sour, and that gives me spicy. So I make sure I cover all the basic taste,
Yep.
and then I cover my salad with that, and I can eat that for a week straight. So if you ask me what I eat, if you don't know what I eat and you guess that, 80%, 90% of the time, you're going to get it right. Because the only time I eat something else is when I go out with the family.
Okay. Yeah, that
That's
sounds
when that.
good, that dressing. I'm gonna have to try that one. I usually do a tahini based dressing. I have two go-tos, but I'm gonna try that one. I like
I
that.
tried
That
the
sounds good.
tahini base, but it's always the difference in my tahini base is just the tahini. I still keep the same ingredients,
Hmm.
and I add the tahini to it.
Instead of
Sometimes
the
I
olive oil,
do.
or you still do
No,
both?
I keep the olive oil and I add a little bit of a whole jar of tahini, because I would make a whole jar and eat for like 2 weeks straight. So whatever
Yeah.
dressing I make, I eat the same thing for like 2 weeks. But
Hmm.
people say it's boring, is this, is that. But me, it simplifies my life, because I wake up
Yeah.
and I prepared my salad, and then that's my food. By the time
Yeah. That's
everybody's
what.
cleaning pots, doing this, like I'm already done. So my time can be delegated towards other stuff. Like I'm not
Yeah.
really worried about. But
It's
and
easier.
when
You
I
can.
go out, the food varies.
Hmm.
It can be, I've been eating a lot of onion rings lately. That's one of the things, because I try to stay away from the French fries. So I consume a lot of onion rings. It's like, give me the veggie burger instead of fries. Give me onion rings,
Yeah. Oh, that
less,
sounds good. I'm not gonna
just
lie,
to
that
be
sounds real good right
just to
now.
be less fat, I guess. And then they put the slices of avocado on there. So a lot of times they got it right. So that when I go out, that's my to-go meal. And that too, I can go to Chart House and have the same thing every week. It's like every time I eat cooked food, I can go to the same place and eat the same thing. And I do have a Caribbean restaurant by my house. They make a good tofu with beans. They have quinoa. They have a nice selection of vegan food. And every 2 weeks, I would treat myself to that also. I would treat myself. But that's in a
Yummy.
nutshell. That's in a nutshell my whole diet. It's pretty simple. I eat cooked food when I go out. If I'm home, I'm eating raw food.
Yeah, that
Yes.
sounds good. That sounds really nice. I like the balance. I don't want you to feel. Do you think you're feeling, what's the word? What did you say when you ate cooked food? You feel what?
You feel like the itis. You feel a little heavier. You sleep a
No, the
little
first time
longer.
you said you felt
Guilty.
gross, guilty. Oh, guilty.
Feel guilty.
Is it because when you do eat cooked foods, it's because you're going out, which is when you're eating the junk cooked foods? Is that maybe why you feel guilty?
No, I feel guilty because there is a predisposition in my mind that I want to be raw. So
Okay,
to me, raw is the standard.
I got
So
you.
anything beneath that is a failure.
Okay.
So in the grand scheme of things, and that's why I'm willing to be clear with people and be transparent because there are people right now who has difficulty just to be on a vegan diet. That's not an issue for me. I can be
Yeah.
like I don't think about meat. I don't miss it. I
Yeah.
don't want to mess with it. I can be around it. It doesn't bother me. But the ultimate level that I want to reach is to be 100%,
Yeah.
raw.
It's just
So
because you have a goal for yourself.
anytime I go beneath that, I always feel like, come on, man,
Yeah.
you could have went one more day.
You have
And
a goal. You have a goal. So whenever you go outside of that, it makes you just
you
feel a
feel
certain type
like
of
it
way.
makes you feel some kind of uncomfortable. So that's
Yeah.
exactly what I mean. Yes.
Okay. Well, what are you drinking? Is that coffee?
No, I actually haven't had coffee since February 25th, since I started the juice fast. I
Oh,
haven't had
really?
coffee, and I also refrained from rice. So I had my first bite of rice about 2 weeks ago.
Really?
I didn't consume any cooked items, any coffee. I would have tea. If I have a cold, I would make some
Yeah.
ginger tea. But anything cooked, like I would stay away from that. I haven't had coffee at all. It's been February 25th, made it a year without coffee, and we already in March right now. So I don't
Yeah,
miss it.
congratulations, because that's major.
Yes.
Because I stopped drinking at about 17 months ago. Now, a couple of weeks ago, I had a relapse. I call it a relapse because coffee is a drug. And I had drank coffee for the first time in 17 months and I felt disgusting. But, I missed the taste though. I'm not going to lie. I missed the taste because I would put it with my non-dairy creamer and it would just taste like a dessert, and I
Yeah.
do miss it. But 17 months, I'm very proud of myself because I made the decision.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I wanted to get it out of my life because my body got addicted to it after drinking it for 6 years. And I was like, I don't want
Mhm.
my body to be addicted to something where if I stop drinking it, I get headaches. Or if I do drink it, I get headaches. Or I get heartburn. I don't want something making me feel like that. So that's why I had to
Yeah,
let it go. But
heartburn.
anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, ain't nobody got time for that. But
So
anyway, oh, go ahead.
no, I've been free of coffee. That's all I was about to add. I've been free of
Yay. Twinning. Okay.
yeah.
Well, this has been great. Last thing I want to bring up is you have been committed to an exercise program you put on for yourself.
Yes.
Uh, you slipped up and then you started all over again. And what day are you on?
Today's day 76, 77. Day 77.
And tell everybody what your exercise program is consisting of. Is it just movement is it just being able to move your body? Is it weightlifting? Is it cardio? Is it both?
Well, technically, I went to this raw food event, and me and my brother Divine was having this conversation, and I was like, at my age, I'll be 44 in June for the people who don't know, and I'm like, I want to know what a six pack feel like because I
You a
didn't have
baby.
one.
You making me feel old right now, Roberto. You a
Hey
little baby.
man, I'm a distinguished old man. Stop it. so So I'm like, I want to know at my age what a six pack feel like. And we were talking, we talk about diet, we talk about everything. And before the night's over, we was like, you know what? Let's do a challenge. Let's do a challenge. And my cousin, he's a big exercise buff. My brother, and I try to get
Mhm.
everybody involved. My brother Scott, he's like a personal trainer. So I'm like, let's do something like get fit or leave trying, because 50 Cent got this album, get
Yeah.
rich or die trying. So I'm
Yeah.
like, we ain't trying to die. So let's do something called it get fit or leave trying. And they all
Oh,
agreed, and I called everybody, put them on the same page, and they was like, you know what? It's gonna be 100 days of exercise. The minimum you can do is pretty much 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100 squats. So technically, top, mid, and bottom, a whole body workout, real simple. But if you can do more, just do more. Like in my case, I'm
yeah.
blessed enough to have a gym membership. I'm able to do more. So I do my squats, I do my sit-ups, and I do my push-ups, and I'm able to incorporate weight. But for my personal journey, what I do, I go to the gym and I dedicate a minimum an hour to an hour and a half, minimum an hour, and then I would select 20 machines, and I would do 3 sets of 15 for each machine. So if you divide that, that'll give you an hour of like 20 seconds break between each set, and then I take a
Hmm.
shower, go in the sauna, and I go home. And it's been working perfectly for me. So my body hurts for the first 2 weeks. After not exercising for a long time, your body's definitely gonna hurt. And then when I get to day 59, I couldn't even raise my arm. And then
Oh.
so now I'm like, I gotta go to the emergency room. And I'm like,
Uh-oh.
okay, let me go to urgent care. By the time I called, they had an appointment for the afternoon, and that happens the day before. So now I couldn't sleep the whole night. Called off work, and then when I finally got to go, they did the X-ray. They say it's kind of like a calcium deposit. It's nothing crazy. They can give me a steroid shots, and it's gonna
Oh,
soothe the pain. Take a few days off, and then see if you can move your arm and to start your activities again. Long
oh
story
my goodness.
short, it did feel better. So I missed 4 days after day 59, and then after I feel better, I started right back again. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna cheat it, because the goal is to do 100-day consecutive,
So
just
you
to build.
started all the way over
I
after
started
59
from
days.
one. I started from one again after day 59. So my
Wow.
followers was like, come on, Toto, you could have said day 60. Nobody would care. And I'm like, but no, it's about me proving to myself
Yeah.
that I can do 100 days straight. So I started again. Thank God for me. Today's day 77. So 23
Oh,
more days.
is it 77 already? Okay. Wow.
77. After I started over, today's day 77
Oh,
of
wow.
exercise. I incorporate every single movement, and every movement I do, I record it and chop it up to like a minute and 30 seconds and put like a shorter version of it online,
Yeah.
so the
Yeah.
followers can see the progression. Even how I look right now. Remember when I lost the weight? I went down to size 28 with 176 pounds, coming from
Hmm.
325. So that's crazy. So now I'm able to get into a 34 jeans from size 28 after I start exercising. My shoulders bucking up a little bit.
Look at you.
I'm feeling a little bit,
You're getting more
a little strong.
tone,
Yeah,
tighten it up,
more
and
tone. Yeah, but
yeah.
definitely gain weight since from the juice fast to the food diet and the exercise. I definitely gained a good 40, 45 pounds
Well,
on top.
that's to be expected. I mean, you were drinking juice for goodness sake, and now you're
Yeah,
getting more calories in, so that's gonna definitely
but
happen.
I'm talking about like strong fit. I'm wearing size 34 now, and my shirt is still large. And I feel good because I'm able to do that every day. Like so far, I already went to the gym at 8 in the morning and get my exercise in. I did my hour already.
You
So
look
because
great.
I know if I have this interview now, I gotta go see my mother later. I know if I wait, the gym closes at 8. I'm not gonna have time to do it. So I wake up early, just get it done. And every
Yeah,
day I will build that habit. So I told myself, okay, even after the 100 days, if I can do 6 days a week, that's a pretty good habit to build. And that's
that's
what
a
I want
lot.
to. Yeah, that's what I want
That's
to
a
do.
lot.
I want to build
What
good
about
habits.
5 days?
So far, I feel good with 7 days. I might keep it that way. It doesn't bother
Woo!
me.
That's a commitment like a mofo. I
Seven
give
days does not bother me.
Wow, that's awesome because I can't do it. I need a rest day. I need 2 rest days per week.
You
Now,
know how I
now,
rest.
mind you, even on my rest days, I'm always getting steps in. But I guess I'm referring to like where I'm intentionally like I work out 3 days a week with weights, right? And then the other days I make sure I walk or get some type of cardio in. And then I take a day or two of nothing. But even those nothing days, I'm still getting steps in
You
somehow.
gotta get
You
steps
know?
in. Even if I go
Yeah.
for an hour walk, you have like I feel like the fittest people I've seen, especially when you start going over 40, 45, you have to stay active.
Yes,
The
you do.
idea that you need rest, that you need this. I mean, don't get me wrong. Rest is rest. We all need it. If my body needed, I would go to the gym. There's certain like if I lift certain amount of weight, I would just lift less. That's my
Yeah.
rest day. Do
Take it
less.
easy. Take it
Take it
easy.
easy, but I'm not gonna not do nothing. I'm gonna go and put my hour in, and then keep moving from there. So it's just all about building positive, healthy habits. That's all it is for me right now.
That's good. The last thing is, why did you wait until after you got off the juice fast to start working out? Did you work? You didn't work out during the 6 months, did you?
I wouldn't call it workout. I think I go for walks. I did
Okay.
long walks. I have a park. I'm in West Orange, New Jersey. I have a park that's a mile and a half long. I will go around it once or twice, like 3, 4 days a week. But it wasn't like, I'm
You
trying
weren't
to
doing
hit my cardio, I'm
push-ups.
trying to run, I'm trying to drag. It wasn't that. It was just like,
Yeah.
hey man, keep the body moving. Don't stay stagnant. Keep the body moving. So that's why when people ask me, did I exercise? I always say no because it wasn't intentional. It was just like something to do. I had the time. I didn't have anything to do, and I have a place to go. The weather was good, and I go and get up and go for a walk.
But you weren't like strength training
No,
and
no, no.
trying to tone and do all that back
That's
then.
right now. That's way after the food starts, and I feel like, you know what? I'm about to go. Uh, um, I don't know if I can use that on your channel. I'm trying to go get my sexy back. So,
I heard that. You
I'm
better
trying.
work it.
I'm
You
trying.
better work, honey.
You know what
Work
I'm
it.
saying? I'm like, you know what? I'm about to go do my best and be a supermodel at 45. Let's see how far I can take this
You
thing.
look good, Roberto.
You
You look
know?
real good.
Thank you,
And
thank
I
you.
like, you got real tiny and then you gained some back. I like, this is a good weight on you right here. This is a balance because that
That's what
was,
my mother
you
thinks.
were tiny because you were on a juice cleanse. So you're going to get hecka small, but it's good that you gained some back. Plus you got some muscles and you toning up. This is
Yeah.
good for you right here. This is good.
Toning up is what I'm working on right now. Building muscles, tying up. Hopefully, have some definitions by the end of the summer, and that's pretty much it. If I can keep that as a lifestyle, incorporate that with raw food, medication, yoga, sauna, I can live 100 something years and then still be a cute grandpa.
You
Yeah,
heard,
that's the
you
whole
better
goal.
work. Get it. Well, I'm proud of you. Good
Thank
job.
you.
You've come a long
Appreciate it.
way. And I love the steps. I love the meat eating, juicing, raw vegan 90 days, high raw, working out. You know what I mean? Like I love
And
how you crawled before you walked.
Exactly. That's my goal. And if I decide, for the sake of my followers who want to give raw food a try, if I decide to make it a challenge to do another 90 days or another 120 days, I will make it public just so people can have an example or a support system. Even for myself, for me to have a support system of a group of people that's doing the same thing so we can do it together. But I plan on doing a long term a raw food again, just so I can build those new habits again. Because remember, ultimately, I want to look back maybe a year, 2 years from now and say, you know what, I have raw food, that's my life, and then there's no
Yeah.
coming.
Yeah. It's amazing. I eat a high raw diet, but when I go fully raw, it's another level and I feel just amazing. It's
The
just,
top level is what I want to go for, top
yeah.
level. Like, because to me, that's the ultimate discipline.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And I love to go public with mine too and share the journeys, what I'm eating and all
Because
that whenever I do it.
going public with my journey gave me a whole bunch of new friends.
Mm-hmm.
It gave me people like you. It gave me people like Jillian Berry. There's a lot of people that reached out. I have a whole community of people that I've never met in my life, and I communicate with every day, based on a juice and a raw diet story.
Yep.
People I probably otherwise wouldn't have nothing in common with if it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't for that. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
grateful. I'm grateful for the journey. I'm looking forward to see potentially where it takes me. People will ask me, do I want to coach? Do I want to do this? Listen, the whole thing for me is about building myself from the bottom up. And I mean everything, spiritually, physically. And I thought physically was the way to start. And I start with juice. And then now I'm back in school. I learned a new language, wrote a couple books. I want to record a record. I want to start a podcast. And I want to copy and paste that into many things that I do. That's all it is about for me. That's
Yeah.
all it is about for me. So that's why when I fail, I always feel some kind of way because failure is a failure. But compared to the people that are failing, professional failing, I'm not one of those. But
Hmm.
I can admit, like, if my ultimate goal, I could have kept it to myself. I could have been like, hey, man, this is my private life. I'm going to keep it to myself. But I know my ultimate goal is to be 100% raw. And I,
Yeah.
I will always continue to strive to be that. And I will celebrate myself and let everybody know when I am that. And
Yeah.
then just the same way I do now.
Yeah. Keep us updated. We love watching your journeys, all the different stepping stones. I love it.
Trust me, I will keep you updated. Every step, whatever changes is made, and I hope that it always go for the positivity because throughout this whole juice journey, another positive step that I think I took is the fact that even when I went to see my doctor, I was able to post the results. When I do my glucose test, I was able, like, because people would say don't consume this, you're gonna end up like this, you're gonna, and I'm like, okay, I am taking your advice. I am taking your advice. I am listening. That's the reason why I do this. And I show you that I am listening. I'm not like a know it all. You have to understand that this is something that's a DIY commitment. It's not like I'm an expert and I go for it. I
Mm.
learn as I go. And I'm still learning as I go. Even for the raw food, I've seen people who are making fantastic looking stuff online that I've never tried because I kept it basic. Solid.
That's how I am. I'm basic too.
I kept it basic. Give me a salad, I mix it in a bowl, I eat it, good night. But I've seen people make some amazing things. I've been to a raw party where I've tasted some amazing raw deliciousness, and the story's not over yet. The story's not over yet. I think I have a lot to unpack. I have a lot to learn, and I'm surrounded by people who the thing about this community I realize, like, a lot of them are critical, super critical, but they are so willing to share.
Mm.
They willing to share what they have. They don't. There's no gatekeeping. It's not like they have a recipe. And every time I look on somebody's page, I was like, oh, this is look good. And the first thing is like, you want me to send you the recipe? It's like they dime to share the experience with you.
Yeah.
It's not like other people that's like gatekeeping. So that community is a very good people to have in your corner. They always willing to share the wealth of information with you. So I'm happy to be.
Yeah. I love the community. I've met so many wonderful people, such as yourself, since
Well,
I've
thank
been, creating content, if you will, and sharing all my stuff. It's just like I met so many people, and I'm like, especially people who look like me in the U. You
Yeah, yeah,
know?
and that community as far as that is growing also because you have to remember back in the day when you think about raw food, you used to have a different picture in your mind. But now
Hmm.
when you look online, whether it's Instagram, whether it's TikTok, you put raw food, the colors are becoming more vibrant now. There's a
Yeah.
whole community of many different people. Like you'll be surprised, man. People follow me just because I changed the name to Raw, and then
Hmm.
and then when I go to their page, I realize, oh, this is one of us. This is
Yeah.
one of the people who's doing what I'm trying to do, and I follow them right back because some people have been doing it for 10 years, 15 years. I met raw chefs. I met a lot of people that are doing amazing stuff, and I'm inspired. That's why I'm never giving up. I always think ultimately my ultimate goal is to be 100% raw and see where that takes me. If there is something to learn, I'll use myself as a guinea pig. Hopefully, people learn from me. If it's a positive, hooray! If it's a negative, let's fix it and then we move forward.
Yay. Well, I'm looking forward to that journey of your life. And thank you so much for coming on my platform again. I always enjoy
Yes,
speaking with you. And it's just
absolutely.
nice to see the growth and the process and all the stages that you have encountered over the last few years or the last year or
Yeah,
a
last
year.
last year and change. Last year and change.
Yeah, a year and change. It's been amazing. It's wonderful seeing your posts and your, Toto. By the
Yeah,
way, what
I'll
is
keep it going.
Toto? What is Toto? Is that your
It's
nickname?
Roberto. It's Roberto, and my mother, ever since I was
Oh,
young, they called me Toto. So it's the last letter of the
oh,
name. They just double it up. You know, Haitians, they have this thing. If your name is Bernard, they call you Nana. If it's Renee, they call you Nene.
oh.
If it's Pearl,
Okay.
they call you Toto. If it's
I don't know
Robert, they call
why.
you Woo.
I don't know
It's
why I'm now asking you. I've been wondering that for the last 6, 7
it's
months.
Toto. It's a short for Roberto Toto. Haitians
Got
do
you.
that.
Got you. Well, Toto, it's been a wonderful time chatting with you again. You're
Yes,
inspiring the nation with your
yes,
story and your journeys and all your transformations. Awesome.
absolutely.
Awesome. I enjoyed you. Thank you for coming on my platform again today.
You have my full blessing, and thank you so much for having me. I hope your podcast and all your dreams, everything you aspire to be, everything that you want to share with the world. I speak blessing on this podcast. I speak blessings on your family and you. I speak blessings on your career. I speak blessings on everything that you have planned in secrets, and I hope they blossom to be beautiful. Love.
Ah, glory to God. You about to give me the shouting. Don't start none. Won't be none.
Amen.
Ha!
Amen.
I
Amen.
receive it.
I
I
speak
receive it.
blessings on your life.
I receive
Blessing.
that in Jesus' name. I receive that in Jesus' name.
Blessing.
Glory to God. Thank you, Jesus. Thank
Blessing.
you, Roberto,
Blessing.
for that. Thank you. I
Thank you for
receive.
having me.
Yes. Thank you, everyone, for watching. I hope you were inspired as I was. And make sure you go check out the first interview in season 5 with Roberto. He's amazing. He's doing big things. I love the transformation. We're all proud of him. Anyway, thank you guys for joining today. And we'll see you guys on the next episode. Bye. Roberto, thank you.